everyone, RG with RGFam Games here today with another video for you. Today we are doing the second video in our series, The Games That Made Me. So The Games That Made Me, episode 2. Since it's episode 2, we're going to do a double bubble here. We're going to talk about 2 games for the Apple IIe. We're going to talk about Lemonade Stand and the Oregon Trail. Now, last time we talked about Mega Mania for the Atari 2600. So Mega Mania was, again, I was 4 or 5 years old, 6 years old, before I got into, grade school, or just starting grade school, right? So that was one of my first games, my first loves. And then as I got into elementary school or middle school, then we got to go in the computer lab at school, and we got to play Lemonade Stand. So, Lemonade Stand, I'll throw some video up here for you, is the simplest game out there. For those of you who have never played it, never heard of it, people my age, when you got to go to the computer lab, this is the games that were there for you to play. And it's just running a lemonade stand. It's really a simple text-based game, and you have to account for 3 things. You have to put in how many glasses of lemonade you want to make that day, how many advertising signs you want to make, and what do you want to sell it for. 3 things. That's pretty simple. And you just figure things out. There's different weather patterns. So sometimes it's hot and sunny day, or hot and dry. Or there's just a regular sunny day, or there's rainy or thunderstorms. So each thing affects how well, how many cups of lemonade you can sell that day. It's simple, it's addicting, and I loved it as a kid. I loved trying to make money, and I love having the different elements thrown at you. Like after the third day or second or third day, your mom stops giving you free sugar, so then you got to pay for sugar, and your price goes up. So there's kind of just some different challenges which are interesting, and just the thought of making money, it just really struck a chord with me as a kid of running a business, and it really unlocked my love for strategy games. I love strategy games, and this is kind of the heart of that. It's very simple, but you think of the games all the way leading up today, all the Tycoon games, the Sim Cities, when you're making decisions just based on stats and the knowledge you have, you're just making decisions, right? That's not exciting gameplay necessarily, but it's thought-provoking, right? It gets your mind going, and I absolutely love that. All the way to today, there's a game that I play somewhat regularly. It's on Steam. It's called Dev Tycoon, because I love video games, and there's this really cool, I'm not a big fan of all the Tycoon games that are out there, because some of them are just shovelware, but Dev Tycoon, maybe I'll do a video on that one someday. Check it out. You run a video game company, and it kind of goes through the history of video games, from like the Apple computer all the way to modern systems. Check it out. It's like Lemonade Stand, but way, way better for modern ages. But anyway, Lemonade Stand, I can't say a whole lot about it because there's not a lot to the game, right? As you can see, it's just rinse, repeat day by day, right? And then you try to make money. So, but it fueled my love for strategy games and business simulators and things like that, which down the road, when we get to some of the other games that I love, like Aerobiz on the Sega Genesis, the airline simulator, which sounds weird and doesn't sound interesting at all, but I'm completely enthralled by that game. It's one of my favorite games in my entire game collection. But Lemonade Stand is the heart of my love for strategy games. If it wasn't for Lemonade Stand, I might not like strategy games. I don't know. So yeah, so it's a big part of my childhood and my elementary and middle school years. So Have any of you played Lemonade Stand? Let me know what you think. Is it something that you played as a kid or just heard about? Let me know what you think. So that being said, let's flip the switch to the other game, which is the Oregon Trail. So we'll put the Oregon Trail video up above. So Oregon Trail is probably more popular maybe than Lemonade Stand was. It seems everybody's heard of Oregon Trail. There's so many memes about Oregon Trail. You've probably all seen the meme about kids these days wouldn't get past the Kansas River, you know. Which, look, I guess this is also kind of a strategy game. As you see there, I made myself and my kids, and Brandy's the dog. And I made a run. So this was the first time I had played Oregon Trail in 35 years, maybe. So I was curious to see if I could get past the Kansas River. But no, it just takes you kind of through the historical Oregon Trail. When everyone moved out west, you just start in a city, you load up supplies, and you choose how many ox you want to buy, how much food you want to buy by the pound, how many bullets you need, how many clothes you want to buy. So you have to buy all these supplies, and then you go on the trail. And along the trail, you'll go stop at a lot of different places. You can talk to people. You can go hunting. You'll have to hunt a lot to get some food because you'll run out. You can't just keep buying food. A lot of those places you can't even buy food even if you have the money, but you never have the money because you can't really sell things. But along the way, you can pick up items. You can trade. There is a thing where if you're at a town, maybe some people will want to trade you certain items. Sometimes that helps. There's a couple times where I really needed some food, and thankfully someone would trade me some food for a different part that I had. But that was actually very rare that they would ever offer food. It happened like once or twice maybe throughout the whole trip. And it's just like a survival game. Like you have to figure out how you're going to survive, and you have to ration your food. Like you can eat really well for a while, then you got to tone it down and eat meager to save your food. Otherwise you go through it too fast. And if you don't eat enough food, you'll get sick. I'm sure you've all seen the memes about dysentery, dying of dysentery or dysentery or something like that. A lot of memes about that. So, there's a lot of challenges going through the game. This game was produced by MECC, which I think is the Minnesota Education something Chamber Council. I don't know, something like that. I should have looked it up before I started this video. There's been a lot of different versions of Oregon Trail throughout the years. I'm referring to the original one, the Apple. I'm going to be honest here. This version that I played, I think is like a slightly different version than the original one. The original one, when you hunted, you were kind of just at the bottom of the screen, and you would hit the space bar, and your buckshot would go up, and the deer would just run across. The hunting in this game is a little different. You're actually a guy standing in a place, and then the deer or various different animals kind of pop up through the corners, or it's a little bit different. So I don't know if there's any other differences. I don't think there are any other differences between this one and that old version. I tried to find it, but I couldn't. But maybe some of you will know what I'm talking about. So like I think this is just like like Oregon Trail, like either 2.0 or 1.1 or something like that, where they just made some tweaks to it. But anyway, it was a challenging game. I remember as a kid dying a lot, having all the family members die. And that's why it's always fun to name the people. Like after people you know, because then when somebody dies, like, oh hi, you tell your friend, hi, you just died, because you'd be all in a computer lab, right? You're all lined up in computers next to each other. You're all playing the same game, and you put your friends in the game. You're like, ha, you just died, and then you die in their game, and then they laugh at you. It was a lot of fun. So, yeah, I mean, that's, again, this was a introduction to me. Now this is kind of a simulation type game. I guess it's kind of hand in hand with Lemonade Stand in a way that it's a simulation, and it just gets you thinking about how you're going to tackle situations. Every time you have to cross a river, you have to decide if you're going to try to float the thing across, if you're just going to try to walk through it, as it's in the screen right now. Good timing. Or if you're going to walk the cattle through it, or if you're going to float it, or if you have money, you can take a ferry sometimes. And the water level can be a different thing, so you can also sit there and wait for the water levels to go down. That's an option. But there's a lot of strategy and a lot of thinking involved in the game, which when you're a kid growing up, it's pretty cool, and like I said, it really, really got me thinking about how to solve problems. I don't know if they play games like this anymore in school. They should, because it really did just open your mind, and I loved it. I love these types of games. And now, here way later in life, I love simulation games. I love strategy games, and it's probably one of my favorite genres, actually. Now, what else I'd like to say is, I'm gonna pause this video here. I'm gonna fast forward. Let's look at the last minute of gameplay of my first game of Oregon Trail in 30 plus years. You watching? Made it. I made it all the way to Oregon, past the Kansas River, past all the other rivers, and right there my stats. So I had 20 pounds of food left. I had 159 bullets left, 4 sets of clothing, 5 spare wagon parts, 4 oxen, 1 wagon, and all 5 people are in fair health. So, a boom. I did it. Totally did it. So I still got it. That's what I'm trying to say. Video proof right there. And I got the number 2 high score. I don't know if this is just stock or where these numbers came from, but I got bonus points because I selected as being a farmer from Illinois, just because Illinois is the closest state to me, so I figured that was kind of cool. But yeah, so that's Oregon Trail. Would you guys have any memories of Oregon Trail? What are your thoughts? What are your memories? Are you ever interested to go try them out now? Games that you played like in the computer lab at school, and wonder what that might be like if you played them now today. I also tried to get Carmen Sandiego, the original Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, running on an emulator, but I couldn't get it to work. I might have included that as well in this video. Do any of you like simulation games? And all the retro games and things that I see, no one really talks a whole lot about simulation games or strategy games a whole lot. I see a lot of you guys talk about puzzle games and the Tetrises and the columns of the world and things like that, and the adventures of Lolo and kind of things like that. I don't see a whole lot of people talking about like the strategy games like the Sim Cities, or the Romance of Three Kingdoms, or the Aerobiz, or the Uncharted Waters, or Uncharted Waters is more of an RPG. The Nobunaga's Ambition, a lot of the Koei games. Do any of you like strategy games, or like any of the old school strategy games? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Again, these are just 2 games that were super influential to me as a gamer, and how I grew up as a gamer, and my love for all things. I can say all things strategy, because there are modern strategy series that I'm not a big fan of. But I can save that stuff for another video. But again, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. Let's chat about it. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.